So you came to learn about JavaScript for each, and that's what we're going to do. So JavaScript has on arrays a built-in function, and this is just because JavaScript is basically object-oriented. You can always call a for each on an array. So what it does is it's a function, and it's important to capitalize that E. It's a function that takes a function. So this is a callback function you're going to pass in here, and this will be the element that you're going to iterate over, and we'll just use an arrow function, and I'll say console.log element is element, and please redo. Okay, there we go. Sometimes CodePen doesn't refresh quite quick enough. So you can see this is the array that we're iterating over, and works the same for any type of array. Obviously, arrays are not typed in JavaScript, so you can say L this, and this is going to be an array of strings, other L's, then we'll say L, and that'll be some random strings. What else can this do? Well, let's take a look at the Mozilla Developer Network web docs and check out the array for each. This gives you the actual method signature for it, and you can see the callback takes other things. You can get the current value, which is what we did. That was the element. So this is essentially a loop, and we're just going to iterate in order over the elements in the array. And then the second thing is the index that you're on. So let's pop that in there. Let's say index. And then we'll say, obviously this is the index position of the array that we're iterating over. So come on, there we go. All right, element number 1, that is index position 0. Element number 10 is index position 6. So this is just typical index positions in an array. And then finally, what was the third argument? Array. That's the actual array you're iterating over. So for whatever reason, even though you should have access to it from the closure, you can actually print out the array. So whoops, let's do that. Yeah, so you have access to the entire array while you're in this callback function, which is kind of nice in some cases. It's useful. There we go. So what else is a thing about forEach? So one thing about forEach is you cannot break out of it early. So if we search for break on here, you're going to see there is no way to stop or break a forEach. So, and actually in Lodash, you can, if you use a Lodash forEach, you can return false. It'll break the loop. But in vanilla JavaScript, there is no way to break out of it other than throwing an exception, which I don't think you want to do because that's expensive. And if you do want to break out early, just use a plain loop instead. So that's generally forEach. Again, it's just a method on arrays. Takes a callback function. You can use an arrow function or a regular plain old JavaScript function in here for the callback function. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, etc.